All right, Jeff, I'm going to show you a real simple one of just lettering that I do. So all I do in Illustrator is I go File, New, and I create this artboard to be roughly the size of the stamp just so it gives me an idea of how big the stamp needs to be versus how big it's going to actually fit on the belt. So create that as a 2x6. This is for a 3-inch belt, so I don't want the letters any higher than 2 inches to take into account for the stitching there. Then what I do for this one here is I had a custom font. This is somebody I was getting a belt that likes Chuck Taylor's, and they wanted the font to be a Chuck Taylor font. So I went to dafont.com and downloaded that, and they want blue chucks. Now for this here, it's going to be too big for me to do it as one stamp, so I'm going to do a blue stamp and then a Chuck stamp. So in the blue stamp here, I go to this, I can go up now, and I found from Dafont the name of the font that Chuck All Stars uses, and it's this Memphis LT Bold. So that's the Chuck's font. And then I'm going to change the font size here. 125 should be just about where I want to be. So if I look at this here and my 2-inch by 6-inch block here, this is going to be just where I want to be. So the next step is what we were talking about, is how I need to outline this. So once I have this, whether this is an image or in this case here, the lettering, I go up and I go Object, expand the whole thing out, and now they're individual shapes here. So with each of these, you can do them one at a time, or you can do all of them. So what I do for this here, and I'll put this over here as well, is I'll select all, and then I'll go to Object, come down here to my path, and now that everything's already to scale, and I'm not going to change the scale, this is where it's important now. So when I go to Offset Path, this is where I put that value in here. So I found that for the regular filament 3D printers, 0.05 is really as big or as small as you can go there for your outline of that. So I do that there, create that, and then I just, for that right there, I change the color just so I can see what the outline is versus what the lettering is. And the way to think about this, the outline is going to be the part that's extruded on the 3D printer, and that's what's going to press into the leather. So that'll be the negative spot surrounding the letters as the outline there. Now the thing I notice here is these kind of overlap a little bit, so I'm going to select this letter, move it over, and that's just going to make my life a little easier when I go into SolidWorks. So that's literally all there is. It's a real simple one, obviously, because it's just lettering, but it's the same process for any of the shapes or logos or images that we do. So from there, I just save this where it needs to save in her thing. I'm going to call this blue stamp. Save that there's the Illustrator file so I can go back and edit it if I need to. And then what I want to do now is I want to go File, save this as, and this is where I want to save this as a DWG. Oops, sorry, not save as, File Export. File Export this as a DWG right there. And all those default settings are fine. And that'll save that. So then if I look over here in the folder, I can see there's my blue stamp right there. So the next step in this is going to be me opening SolidWorks, then opening up that DWG file. So now I'm in SolidWorks here. My open button. Go to where I saved her stamp file here. So I go into where I save all my custom belts here. And down to my folders, there she is under blue chucks. And this is my blue stamp right here, so I can open that. And here's the part here. You want to import this as a new part, as a 2D sketch, import as reference. Hit the next button. I leave all these as just defaults here. I make sure it's in inches. It's easier for me to work with. Next. Again, just leave this as all default. Hit finish. It's going to give you this little warning here. Do you want to explode the blocks option? Yes, you do. And then they'll import this in. And you can see I have this here. So with this here, what I want to do is I come over to Model, I right click, make an edit sketch. So now I can edit this here, right click again, edit the sketch. So now I can see it turns to a dark blue, and that's everything I need. And this is great with lettering because it makes it perfect. I don't need to come in and trim or change anything. I can literally go right up to Features, Extrude Boss, do the outline right there. So there, click on each of those things you want to extrude. Come into the U and the E, and that's extrude everything out. And I find that 0.125 inches is the good height that we want to extrude that. So now I have that extruded there. What I can do now is go sketch a rectangle. It tells me to pick a surface, so I just pick this flat surface here. Then once I have that there, I come around this and just draw a rough rectangle like this. Hit OK. Change my view to the front view, so I'm going to head-on view of this here. Then I go into Smart Dimensions. Click on this to this here. And I like my wall thickness to be that 0.125 as well. So this is just the outline layer, the backing behind the stamp to go into the press. Change that to 0.125. There to there. 0.125. There to there. 0.125. And you can see it's automatically, I have my defaults to millimeters, so it's changing it, but it's 0.125 inches when I enter it in. You can change that down in the bottom right to inches for your whole setup. So with that there, hit OK there. And now that that's extruded, now that that's drawn in there, I go back to features, extrude this, and I can do this here. Unclick merge results, extrude that 0.125 inches there, rotate it around, boom. There's your stamp. So the last step in this is to go File, save the stamp again. But then also File, Save As, an STL file. So that's STL is what a lot of the 3D printers are going to be looking for their software. Save that there, and now you got the STL, and that's all there is to it.